Greetings and salutations, Dawn of War 2 fans. It's your boy Torpid bringing you a replay on Ashes of Typhon today. We've got Man of Faith, also known as Texcalibur, wielding his legendary sword. Gonna be playing as the Hive Tyrant. He's got a homogaunt here and a homogaunt there. I'm using this voice for a little bit because I haven't used this voice in a while and I don't know where it came from. It just erupted from my soul. He's gonna be facing up against Deimos, rocking the Force Commander. Some tactical marines and some scouts, and some more scouts as to be expected. The single termagant, a little bit unorthodox on Man of Faith's perspective though. I wonder if we'll see it followed up by another termagant, or if we're going to see something else exotic like potentially double Raveners. Right now the problem that I see for Man of Faith is there is a lack of range DPS to effectively deal with the Force Commander, especially if the Force Commander's build would see him follow up with some Assault Space Marines. But we shall have to see. For now, the Homogaunts have proceeded with a little cap on the contested PowerPoint, and they're now going to move forward and go for this contested. They see that the scouts are isolated and vulnerable. The scouts are aware of this and promptly retreat. The Hive Tyrant is delaying for as long as possible. He's delayed long enough that very quickly we're going to see a Warrior Brood coming out of the Tyranid base. I must admit, I really hate the fact that Warrior Brood costs 30 power. I think it really hurts the Tyranid economy. I don't think that nerf was needed at all. 25 power warriors felt about right. But I'm a Tyranid apologist, and there's nothing I can do, and I won't fucking apologize. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the normal voice now. That's actually pretty fatiguing on my voice. If any of you guys complain about the volume of this video, I'm gonna be fuming. I'm gonna be fuming because I feel like this is super fucking loud. I feel like you can almost hear my tits bouncing. The microphone volume is so loud. But anyway, let's see how this goes then. So we do see the Ravener. No, we don't see the Ravener. Oh my god. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. We see the Warriors, we don't yet see the Raveners. I really expect the Raveners afterwards. I mean, that would be pretty typical regardless, and it's the reason why you would never go Devastators against this composition, even though typically Devastators, you know, would be a pretty good choice versus a tier 1.5 non-jumping melee squad and double melee. But you know that they can just easily follow up with Raveners and just completely wreck your composition. So instead we're going to see the double tactical Space Marine. Now the shotguns are coming out. 2 shotguns straight away. These warriors need to just retreat. There's nothing they can do here. They could try and maybe jump in and bait out a shotgun blast. This delaying is just, yeah, wasting time. It also risks getting hit by a retreat grenade and actually losing warrior models as well. Obviously there's no sergeant right now, but you don't know if he is actually building one. And when that scout was at the bottom there, he was in retreat path. If he was queuing up a sergeant and you waited too long, even just losing one model would be bad, but you could potentially lose your entire squad. So it's just something to bear in mind. You've got to think about those players. You know, players in that situation, the sergeant would come in, they'd retreat the warriors, lose the warriors, and then they'd be like, oh my god, retreat grenades are so OP, you can't counter them. It's like, come on guys, come on. That's part of the game, you gotta see that shit coming before it actually happens. Don't leave yourself in a position where you can be wiped by a retreat grenade. Anyway, didn't happen. Right now the Homogaunts are exerting a little bit of pressure. What's going on here? Okay, scouts are going to get a cap. Termagants kind of let them just do it. The Termagants are busy doing the actual gem bash because the Homogaunts are getting quite disrupted. Now the Hive Tyrants took over the job of the Homogaunts and he's doing tanking, which is ideal of course, because the Homogaunts will bleed whereas the Hive Tyrant will not. But you can see Deimos is playing it correctly. He isn't just like, he's not freaking out about the Hive Tyrant. He's not like focusing the Hive Tyrant down with everything. He's moving through the Hive Tyrant's DPS because the Hive Tyrant is the best DPS out of the gate just for a flat raw DPS value, but the thing is, if you're moving, his actual effective DPS is really bad because he attacks too quickly, so you just, it's wasted basically. You don't get the maximum attack speed when he's chasing things compared to when something's just standing and trading with him. So it's much better to have something like a war boss who swings really slowly, but every hit he does a huge amount of damage. If you're chasing something, generally you're going to get less hits in, to the point at which your attack speed doesn't matter anyway. Because even with the war boss hitting slowly, when he's chasing things, every opportunity he gets to hit, he's never held back by attack speed. But we're not seeing any Raveners yet. I don't really know why. Do we see Wargear? No. I guess Tex has been bleeding too much, so he doesn't have the requisition to be able to get them. You see, he's got a shitload of power. He might have just messed up his eco and built too many power generators early on, because this isn't really ideal. He is going into tier 2 first, but honestly Deimos is not going to be far behind at all. So we'll see what he goes for. I think this is it's a good map for melee, but not getting Raveners here is really annoying. Because like, what are you going to get as Tyranids in tier 2 here? You're going to get like double Tyrant Guard, but it's a big map for Tyrant Guard. I feel like a Razorback and Plasma Guns is going to punish Tyrant Guard heavy players so badly. We'll have to see. Just getting the Adrenal Glands though, the Warriors, is going to be such a massive power spike for his composition with double Horns and the Warriors. Makes everything so much harder to take down with the ranged fire. Well, any fire, but particularly ranged. So we'll see. He's got the better end of the map control so far, but that's obviously expected. He's playing as the Tyranids, and I'd say he's definitely bled far more than the Space Marines. Deimos has done an amazing job not overextending and basically avoiding bleed. I don't actually know if he's even lost a model. I think he might have got through tier 1 without losing a model. Which honestly, it sounds crazy, but as Space Marines that isn't that mad. If you play it properly, you shouldn't really lose more than 2 models. Especially when your opponent's only got 1 Termagant squad. So there's not a lot of options to focus fire quickly the Scout squad. And if there were Raveners and double Termagants, yeah, you'd lose more Scout models, that's accepted. Hive Tyrant nearly fucked up there. Charging into melee. Just his natural orders there. But Tex realised, got him out of there in time. So yeah, here we go, we got the melee blob. Now the downside of this is the upgrade, whilst it does give them 65% more HP. I thought it was 75. Getting nerfed. I don't know. Huge HP increase nonetheless, and then the Hormagaunts get 40% extra HP, more damage, and let's have a look. More melee skill. Have their health increased by 40% and melee skill by 10. Oh, they don't get more damage. Oh, I didn't realise that. They just get melee skill. Is that right? Yeah, I guess. Okay. You see the global used by the Hive Tyrant there to quickly get the Tyrant Guard onto the field. Termagant's taking a lot of bleed from the pistol there, but they do have Endless Swarm, or at least I've seen them upgrading. Let's check if he's got that. Yeah, he's got that, so should have been 5 Termagants, but it only cost him 3. I do like the Endless Swarm upgrade. It pays back the amount of wreck very quickly, and you've got to remember, not only is it giving you the 2-for-1 reinforce, but it's also giving you extra stat buffs to your gaunts to just help them scale. Yeah, Tech's really focusing on trying to destroy the power, but he's bleeding a lot for it and feeding a lot of XP to the Space Marines. Let's have a look at their levels. Okay, nothing crazy yet. This Tactical Marine is nearly level 2, but everyone else is getting there. Clearly Tex hasn't lost that much though. Otherwise the levels would be worse. FC is level 2. But yeah, we see this Tyrant Guard here now. There's no Plasma Guns yet. Okay, there's one going to come out in a second. So the Tyrant Guard can just tank forever, basically. We do see the Venom Cannon coming. Obviously, the Tyrant Guard should tie up the Plasma Gun Tactical Marines. That's the main thing that does damage to him. One of the beautiful things about the Hive Tyrant is the Venom Cannon will fire on the move. Now, obviously, when you're firing on the move, you can't actually focus fire anything. Yeah, it's going to be a dead Hive Tyrant. Oh, is he going to live because of the special attack from the Force Commander there? No, okay, good. He deserves to die. This is a really bad spot for the TG. I don't know why Deimos... Okay. The generator might have blocked the charge there, which is hilarious. Deimos was really slow in getting the Force Commander onto the Tyrant Guard. But he is there now. What a great purchase with the Power Fist. Just so timely. Helps snipe that Hive Tyrant, and obviously... Yeah, the gens blocked the charge from the TG. That's great. I don't know if that was intentional, but we can all just say, yes, it was. What a fucking play. Very cool. But just the play of getting the Power Fist at that time was fantastic. If there wasn't a Power Fist, the TG could have potentially just gone into Shield Wall and probably regened everything. Regen through all the damage, because there's no anti-vehicle damage here. There's nothing that's even that good. There's only one Plasma Gun. Plasma is okay against vehicles. But yeah, there's only one. No grenades, no power melee. So yeah, the TG probably would have lived. Nope, not with the Power Fist. But here comes the pushback. Now Deimos needs to make some sort of pushback because he's so far behind on VPs now. He's nearly 200. He's just between 150 and 200 down on techs, and obviously Tyranids are the faster race. Probably could have kept the Warriors in play there. The attacks already retreat because they know if they get tied up in melee by the Warriors, they're going to get wrecked. Strange. So we'll see the DPS of the Venom Cannon coming in here. So you got 20 HP per second regen onto the Razorback, yeah. And given the fact you've got the Tactical Marine supporting, you've got the Razorback shooting the Hive Tyrant gets forced off. The Hive Tyrant would get through that eventually. Oh, it doesn't tell me the DPS, that's weird. Normally it tells you the DPS number. But yeah, he didn't have the HP to last long enough in that instance. No Capillary Towers. I was going to say, instances like that, that's where you need the Rippers to go in and just tie up the attacks that were stood there shooting the Hive Tyrant. Then there's a lot less damage coming out onto the Hive Tyrant. But Tech's just going straight to tier 3, very ballsy play. I feel like his composition right now is really quite inferior. Okay, Tech's expecting the Razorback to move away, actually force melee straight away with the Hive Tyrant. But because the Razorback actually just stayed completely stationary, the Hive Tyrant didn't really achieve too much in melee there. Now he's going to force melee. As it tries to run away, he's going to get some nice rear armor hits, but the Hormagaunts got wrecked, one of them got wiped. Where are the Warriors? They just got forced off, and the Terminus are getting wrecked as well. Yeah, just Deimos' composition is so strong right now, and they're scaling up brilliantly. Level 2, level 2, level 2, level 2. All were squad leaders now at this point as well. What's this? Is this without number? The Gaunt call-in? It must be, right? Yep. Might be able to snipe the Force Commander here, actually. No, the Hormagaunts don't attack him. Why not? Oh, I think he totally could have got him there. And the Scouts, of course, just get inside the Razorback and then dip. Wow, bit of a misplay from Tex there. I really think the Hormagaunts could have got the Force Commander there. For a long time, he was sort of idle. Deimos was a little bit slow to retreat him. But anyway, he lives to fight another day. As does the Razorback. Hive Tyrant's going to push up to this contested area. This is the problem for Tex right now. He's only got one ranged AV unit, so he's constantly trying to position the Hive Tyrant wherever the Razorback is, but the problem is that the Hive Tyrant is substantially slower than the Razorback. So that definitely presents some problems for him. Razorback re-engages in the mid, going to bleed a couple of Hormagaunt models, but the Hive Tyrant is in the correct position in this instance. Unfortunately, it still doesn't prevent the Hormagaunts from being forced off. Not a single bit of XP. Oh yeah, because he just got them without number. Silly me. Even then though, look at the original Hormagaunts, not even level 2. It's normal though against Space Marines. Bit of miss micro there from Tex. Losing a lot of models unnecessarily, but he has Endless Swarm, so that should only be 3 models, which is not huge. He's tier 3. Probably going for Carnifex, yeah. You know, someone did ask the question, why do you ever get Carnifex when a Swarm Lord is so much stronger? You know, it's got more HP than even a Formback Carnifex. It can heal itself better. Like the regen from a Formback Carnifex is nice, the in-combat regen. But a Swarm Lord gets Leech Essence, which can give it like 1,000 extra HP and do loads of damage to armies. But the thing is, not only does the Swarm Lord cost like a good 200 requisition more, so you gotta wait for that, but also, you can get the Carnifex out really quickly, you know, because you've got the 575 150 cost, and then whilst it's on the field, you get the resources to then buy the upgrade that you want for it. So even though with the upgrade it's nearly as expensive as a Swarm Lord, it gets on the field way quicker. And right now Tex is sort of capitulating. He hasn't won a big engagement in a very long time, and he's getting pushed back constantly, and the VPs are starting to drain against him. Now we see even more attacks as well. Bit of a strange drop pod that I don't really understand. I mean, is he going for triple plasma gun? Given that there's no Venom Brood, I think that was a very poor decision. Deimos, why did you call in that third attack squad? Very confused by that. You should have been able to recognise, given that there's no Venom Brood. I mean, there's literally been no tier 2 purchase in this game. Literally none. Plus, you've seen Without Number, you know that he's tier 3, you know that Carnifex or a Swarm mod is on the way. So, very odd play to drop in Tactical Marines. Looks like the Hormagaunts and the Warriors have spent their time bashing the natural power of Deimos, quite successfully too. They are going to bleed a couple of models, but that's fine, as I say. Got Endless Swarm, nothing crazy. The main downside to this is not the wreck harm that it does to the economy of Tex, but rather the amount of XP that Tex is yielding Deimos. As you can see, we've got level 3 tax, and still the level 2 Scouts nearly level 4 on the Force Commander. Carnifex could have easily killed that Force Commander there. A little bit strange to charge up quite so easily. I mean, I don't know, maybe he's seen the Devastator squads with the last cannon, but you can charge away once you got hit by the last cannon. Like it's an escape from that snare. I don't really understand. Force Commander needs to be super careful here. Yep, he gets wrecked, but he does die in a pretty nice position actually for the Sacred Standards 50% damage buff whilst the hero is down. So the Formback effects does spawn a swarm of Rippers, which are going to move forward and try and tie up the last cannon dev. Of course, once that thing's tied up, there's not really any dedicated EV, so it's a little bit weird to not move the Formback forward sooner, because now the Rippers are taken out by the spawning fire coming from the troops and disembarking from the Razorback, and now there's actually a missile attack. That third tactical marine did actually get a missile launcher. This is actually a really bad position for the Carnifex of Man of Faith. The last cannon could get in the Razorback, I was going to say, but no, it's just going to back off manually. That still leaves the missile attacks free to fire. And free for them to jump into the Razorback and kite that Carnifex. The Carnifex is going to go for one last hurrah, and he's going to charge into the last cannon, try and take the last cannon down with him, and he does succeed. No, he doesn't. He gets a really unlucky special attack. That should have been a kill. That's actually really unlucky for Tex. He should have wiped the last cannon. But let's face it, even if he did wipe the last cannon, it's not a huge deal because there's no other vehicles left on the field anyway, so the last cannon would just be a shitty capping unit. So we're not exactly talking about a big boss there, but nonetheless, he gets out. Hormagaunts getting ripped to pieces by all the supporting range fire there. They're going to have to retreat, and the Hive Tyrant just not being able to secure the kill in the Razorback. I might have gone for the charge armor at this point. You know, we are in the late stage of the game. There's a lot of resources available for Tex. And the big problem for the Hive Tyrant is the Razorback's just faster than the HT, so it's really hard for him to catch up with the Razorback. But hey, with the charge armor you get that option, you know, it gives him that speed buff in a certain direction. And then you force melee on the Razorback, you have a good chance of taking them out. Level 4 Tactical Marines now with Plasma Gun. These guys level 3, what about the new boys? Not level 2 yet, but it won't be long. Another Carnifex is on the way, so now, with the second Carnifex on the way, it is kind of a shame that he didn't actually kill the last cannon, but last cannon, it's not fully reinforced yet. We'll have to see how it fares. I really think Deimos should be able to have this. But Tex is ratting for the VPs really well. It's a shame Deimos isn't the Tech Marine right now. He'd probably love to drop a turret here. Just protect this, or even like, I don't know, maybe here. Probably cover this area quite well. And then you keep your ranged blob here to prevent him flanking through the mid and to protect this VP. You can hold out quite well. But I feel like some of these scouts need to be infiltrating and running down to decap this pretty much constantly now, because this is clearly becoming a VP game. As far as the actual engagements are concerned, Deimos has been winning every engagement for a good 10 minutes now. Like, as soon as that Tyrant Guard died in Tier 2, I feel like Deimos has been winning every engagement. Even when the Carnifex came out, Deimos was winning the engagements. So the win con for Tex is VPs, and Deimos should recognise that and try to take that win con away from him. Now Deimos is getting a little bit sloppy, to be honest. He's moving forward very aggressively, and he walks into the Hive Tyrant. The Hive Tyrant forcing melee here onto the Razorback should be able to take it out, and he does, in spite of the Force Commander trying to tell him up melee. What do we see here? We see a Stranglethorn cannon Carnifex. Now the nice thing about the Stranglethorn is that it can suppress those ranged AV tools from a distance, shutting them down quite easily. So it's a lot less vulnerable to the missile attacks or the last cannon than the melee form back, but the downside is you don't have melee resist, you don't get the big fat HP boost and the in-combat HP regen, so you're quite vulnerable actually to the Force Commander with a Power Fist, especially if he goes for a more tanky build, you know, like Iron Halo, the Artificer armor. That Force Commander could be a real problem, or a Dreadnought. Deimos knows what he's doing. He's going to go for that Dreadnought because the Dreadnought does get melee resist, and the Dreadnought can easily 1v1 a Stranglethorn cannon Carnifex. Certainly if you have Power Fist Force Commander, if you have missile attacks, if you have Blazdev supporting as well. Slightly precarious position there for the last cannon devs retreating through. He is going to need them now, so it would be a shame if he lost them to the Homnots, but these scouts are going to ensure that doesn't happen. A couple of grenades going in there, trying to get a few more model kills on the Hormigons. Always nice to just get kills whenever you can. Look at the red resource on Deimos, wow. 927. Really should just start spamming for the Emperor in pretty much every engagement on the plasma attacks. Also on the Force Commander. Did we just get another without number? Oh my god, we did! Wow, look at this build from Tex. Gaunts, gaunts, gaunts. Is he going to be able to win on this with the map control? I mean, look, he's doing a great job with the map control. Let's see how Deimos can deal with this Stranglethorn cannon. So, yeah, he's going to get one hit with the last cannon, which snares it, and then the Dreadnought gets into melee, and there's not really anything else to save the Carnifex. But the chasing damage on the Dreadnought's not great, it only gets a hit in every so often, so I don't know if the Dreadnought will be able to kill this Carnifex before it gets back to the base, we'll have to see. But either way, it gets rid of the Stranglethorn cannon, so it's no longer a threat, and Deimos can get onto the field and cap these VPs, and he needs to cap them quick. It is a 2-0 cap in favour of Man of Faith at the moment, and Deimos only has 65 VPs left, ticking down very quickly to the over 300 of Man of Faith. Yes, the Dreadnought does disengage, it fails to kill the Carnifex, which is going to return to the base to heal up. The Dreadnought is going to be chasing down these Termagants instead, just finding something to do. Yeah, he needs to support his buddies down here. Deimos needs to hold those two VPs for a very long time, and yeah, these scouts need to be infiltrating and going and capping the other VP where your main forces are not. And that is one of the things that I'm seeing Deimos not do, and I think it is hurting him quite a lot in this game. I feel like he would have had a lot more VPs available to him at this moment in time if he had been using the scouts in such a way throughout most of the game. So it's very quickly turned around after the Carnifex was chased off there in that last period of engagements, and now it is a 2-0 cap in favour of Deimos. Tex is falling down in VPs, but Tex has so many more VPs to work with. Still has over 250 VPs to the 46 of Deimos, but it is a triple cap against Tex. Let's see what he's going to do. Looks like the Dreadnought is going to be moving in here, probably just to tie up the Stranglethorn cannon. Doesn't want to stick around for too long because that Hive Tyrant is right there. Now you have heavy melee from the Warrior Broods as well. This could be where Deimos makes a really big mistake. He should be taking the fight down by the VP in a much safer situation where the Hive Tyrant can be tied up and dealt with, rather than trying to take it in the base of the Hive Tyrant. And because of all the supporting fire from the Venom Cannon and Hive Tyrant there, the Dreadnought is taken out. The last cannon is getting some overarching shots. We see for the Emperor on the scouts, we see And They Shall Know No Fear on the Tactical Marines to give them a bit of a damage resistance buff, and they do tank beautifully. What a great grenade, holy fucking shit! The Hormigons are getting absolutely melted, wow! I've never seen so many Hormigons die so fast. I mean, I'm sure I have, but it's been a long time. Did the Carnifex die? Oh my god, the Carnifex died as well. The last cannon sniped the Carnifex. A great little bit of trading there from Deimos. Not an amazing engagement, honestly, because he lost a Dreadnought. He does have a replacement coming up right now, but the problem is that Tex is going to be out in the field very quickly, and very wise of Tex. He sends the very fast 6.5 speed on these guys. Hormigon straight past his natural VP to attack the far away VP, whereas the slower unit goes for the safe VP where he knows he will not be contested. The Hive Tyrant is now swapping to the Crushing Claws, along with the Venom Cannon. Wants to be able to solo the Force Commander, just put a little bit more pressure onto the infantry in this instance. and he's now putting pressure onto all VPs. It is a 0 cap, but Texas units capping every single VP. Now Deimos should be able to get rid of these Hormignots. Yes, he does. Hormignots are just going to path onwards and try to tie up the Tactical Marines here, but they're not going to delay for very long. They're only level 2. There's a lot of fire coming in here. We've got damage buffs on the Space Marine blob thanks to the Battle Cry and the Sacred Standard. So they kill the Hormignots very quickly, but can they kill the Hive Tyrant quick enough? We see the bonded exoskeleton, so this gives him the invulnerability ability. Wow, that is very creatively named, because guess what it does? Makes him invulnerable for a little bit. 9 seconds. Long time, actually, when you're capping a point. So he actually does get the cap with that ability, so that's nice to see. Deimos has pushed on forward. Oh my god, there's barely any VPs. There's 9 VPs left for Deimos. He is super low on VPs. He needs to cap like right now. Does he even have time? He's decapped that. He needs to get the decap here. I don't think he has time. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. He's just gonna do it. 1 second. Oh my god. Okay, so it is a 2-0 cap in favour of Deimos. Dreadnought is wiping out Hormignots over here, but the problem is he needs to hold basically every VP. And the problem is there has been a Tyranna formation used by Mana 5th, and that is going to put a lot of pressure onto the Space Marines here. And not only does it do that, but it buffs up the fighting potential of the nearby Tyranids, and those Tactical Marines are soundly routed. Level 4 Tactical Marines wiped out in that instance with their Plasma Gun, and it looks like the Termagates might be able to cap. It is a 3-0 cap in favour of Deimos right now. I don't think the Termagates can actually cap because of the Dreadnought right here. They need to go for a different VP instead, so they're going to push forward onto the natural VP of Deimos, but we see another calling coming in. What is this? A drop pod with Tactical Space Marines? They need to get out and use their Kraken rounds immediately onto these Warriors. Stop the decap. The Warriors are getting the decap. They're not firing at the correct target. They wasted their initial burst onto the Termagates, which are getting wrecked by the Dreadnought and the Scouts, but the VP drain is being slowed down. However, I don't think it's going to be stopped. There is no time for the Warrior Brood right now to actually finish their cap. I do not believe. We have For the Emperor on the Tactical Space Marines. Deimos using that surplus red that he has very well, and the Warriors have to disengage because they cannot finish the cap. However, the Hive Tyrant is now down here with his bonded exoskeleton, and Deimos has left it. Deimos has left it, so he's going to get the natural VP, but it is still not a 2-1 cap, so Deimos is going to be hanging on the edge with 1 VP left. But a Lictor comes out, a tier 3 Lictor with a unique portrait, and he has a unique trait. What is the trait of this guy? 50% extra capping speed. Look at the speed at which he's decapping that point. It is now a 1-1 cap, and if Deimos cannot stop this Lictor Alpha from capping the point, Deimos is going to be in a very bad way. There is a flesh hook onto the scout leader there, the squad leader of the scouts there, which is going to force the scouts to retreat, and that has to be a mistake because now there's not going to be enough time for Deimos to get the decap on the natural VP, and the Lictor Alpha is going to secure the cap at the top, and that is going to be Deimos dropped down to 0 VPs. And so the game taken by your man Texcalibur. What do you think, guys? What did you think? If you enjoyed the content, please leave a comment. Please like the video, because the views have been shit recently. The content's not been the best, I know. We'll make the content a bit better. But come on, support us. It's more motivating to make good content when there's good views. Anyway, if you want more of this content, check out the Patreon, link in the description. $5 a month, £4 a month. What you can do, if that's too much money for you, you let it build up, you get a load of videos on there, and then you buy it for a month, you download the videos, and then you resubscribe at a later date. I get it, it's a lot of money. Anyway, thanks for the support, folks. Torpid signing out.